All right, we are back for round 8 of our draft league, VGC draft league. Going into round 8, we're still undefeated, so I want to keep the momentum going, but I also want to have some fun, right? At this point, I have clinched playoffs, and there is a solid chance that I'll still continue to keep the first place. There's 4 battles left currently, and if the next closest person to me is 2 losses, so I have at least 1 loss to give. Not that I'm going to try and lose, but we're going to try and have some fun, right? For the rest of the season. So we're going to bring some different sets than usual. Last week we brought Mirror Herb Tauros, right? And that was a lot of fun. So I kind of, in the vein of still viable, but it'll be interesting, right? Anyways, starting things off, speaking of fun sets, we're bringing the same standard Golden Go that I have had for 6 of the 7 weeks. We are a pretty bulky build as per usual. All the calcs are for -1 attacks, all the major calcs, right? Like we'll live a -1 Sheer Force, Life Orb, Earth Power from Modest, Life Orb, Landorus, which is big, right? Landorus will have to Terra to pick us off. We live a -1 Wave Crash from Adamant, Floatzel, and Rain, which Floatzel is not capable of tearing. It's not a Terra Captain, so don't need to do that. Don't need to worry about that. And I believe that's banded. I didn't write that down, but pretty sure I calc for banded. We also live a Dreadplate, Adamant, Overquill, Crunch, and the rest is just dumped into special attack, right? They have a fast team, right? They have Rain. So my thinking is that speed control, my speed options aren't as mandatory, right? Because if we get a Tailwind up, Golden Go is still going to be slower than Floatzel and Rain, right? So with Tailwind, we outspeed everything else. Like unless Overquill. Overquill could be Rain boosted as well. This was some, but speed's not as mandatory on this, I think. So we just bulked it out. Now for our first fun set, we are bringing the same 4 moves we've brought on Roaring Moon every single week. The only difference is we have a different item. We're Clear Amulet. My thinking is that they don't have a good Dragon Resist on their team, right? Like they just don't have a Dragon Resist, right? So if we can get Roaring Moon into a position where it can start spamming Breaking Swipes, we're looking pretty good, right? We live a Banded Ice Spinner from Adamant Floatzel. We live a Play Rough from -1 Jolly Ogerpon, and we have ways to drop its attack, right? Like we have Breaking Swipe here, we have Intimidate on Tauros, so that shouldn't be a problem. We live Uninvested Dracos from Gudra. We also have Snarl to put that more in our favor, right? We 2-hit KO Ogerpon with Knockoff, I believe, and I think that was a bulkier variant, if I remember correctly. And the speed puts us 1 point faster than Landorus, right? And the remainder is just dumped into attack. So what we're going to be doing is pairing this up with Mienshao. I know, standard lead, right? Mienshao, Roaring Moon. But we have some fun tech on Mienshao, which we'll get into in a second. After that, we have Tauros. Super bulky Tauros, right? Same stuff that we've been bringing every week. We're Terra Grass to be a water resist. Makes us a little weaker into Overquill, but overall it matches up pretty well into most of their team. It also gives us a ground resist from Landorus, right? So we live 2 -1 Gunk Shots from Overquill on the physical side. I think the rolls get skewed if one of them poisons, so like just don't get poisoned, right? We live Modest, Life Orb, Sheer Force, Psychics from Landorus, which is insane to think about. Live Modest Thunders from Jolteon, and Raging Bull KOs max HP Landorus and Rain. So, and we have enough speed for a Modest Landorus. We can't get Timid, so decided to go for Modest, right? We can't outspeed Ogerpon either, so like, is what it is. Ogerpon's likely going to be super bulky and not very fast. If it is fast, then like we should be able to pick it off decently easily, right? After this, we have Sylveon. Excuse me. Lives a Poison Jab from Adamant Overquill. lives, modest sludge bombs from Landorus. Like, this standard stuff, like calc for the strongest hitters and dump the rest into offenses typically. In Tailwind, we outspeed Landorus, which is going to be big, right? Like, we're hopefully going to get Tailwind off. And then Terra Water gives us a solid defensive type into their team. So, yeah. And Hyper Voice is a roll to 2-hit KO super bulky Ogrepons. If they aren't super, super bulky, Hyper Voice should be pretty easy 2-hit KO. After this, we have Mienshao. I talked about the fun Mienshao. So basically, we are 2 points faster than Landorus, 1 point faster than our Roaring Moon, right? And the idea is that with these two, I should be able to just sit in on the field and spam offensive moves with you and coaching to boost up Roaring Moon, right? So turn 1 probably looks something like Tailwind and Fake Out, right? We have the faster Fake Out. Their only Fake Out user is Hitmonchan, which is also an inner focus one. So yeah, we are running the Regenerator because I don't think Intimidate Overquill comes. But if it does, right? That's why we're rocking the Clear Amulet on Roaring Moon, right? So it's a little bit of a gamble, but Regenerator gives us a little bit of longevity if we decide to pivot out, right? Although, now that I'm thinking about it, Inner Focus is probably better because it guarantees Ice Spinner always KOs Landorus. Even if we get intimidated, right? Because we'll be immune. So I'm going to switch to Inner Focus. I might switch that back before the battle starts, but we'll see. But it's standard Sash set, right? We don't have a ton of bulk, right? We just dumped it all into speed, attack, and then split the fours, right? So Ice Spinner Oko's Landorus. That's the main calc. Max HP Landorus. And then finally, we have Specs Toadscruel. This is a set that I've wanted to bring for a few weeks now, right? There have been a few matchups that just did not have good Toadscruel checks. The idea is that Toadscruel, despite being relatively weak, right? Like, we have Choice Specs to shore that up. We have Terra Grass to even tip it further, right? Their grass resists are Goodra and Overquill. And Squawkabilly, I suppose. But in general, grass coverage is amazing into their team, right? So if we can get this into a position where we can start spamming Specs Leaf Storms, we're going to do some damage, right? And yeah, we have a really solid chance to Oko super bulky Ogrepons, only if they Terra, because they become pure water, right? Even though they get a Spit F boost, so yeah. And then the speed just outspeeds Overquill, so in Tailwind we'll be faster than Overquills, and we'll be threatened with Earth powers, so we have Sludge Bomb for base Overquill, or for base Ogrepon if they don't Terra, right? So that's the team. We have good spread options to deal with Ogrepon redirection. We have good single target options to hit things strong. Feeling pretty confident. So gonna have some fun this week. See you for the battle. All right. And we're back for round whatever this is. Round 8. We're back for round 8. That is the 6 I expected. So now the main question is, are they Intimidate or Swift Swim on Overquill? I did leave Mienshao as Inner Focus, so I'm gonna go with the plan lead. And I'm a little scared of the Goodra, so I want to make sure I have something in the back that is offensively threatening it in a late game scenario. Which kind of leaves one of these 4. All 4 of them are decent. Golden is probably the worst into it. Yeah, I don't like Golden too much in this matchup. So I think it's Tauros, and I think it's Toadscruel. Yep. All right. Best case scenario, I think, is Intimidate on Overquill, since we have a Clear Amulet plus Inner Focus lead. think that's best case. While we're waiting, I'm going to pull up the damage calculator. And I am going to import my team. Alrighty. Just waiting on them to pick their lead. I think I have the right four. I think Sylveon is definitely scared out by that Goodra. And yep, it's the rain lead. All right, I could have been Regenerator. Also, no fake out. But this is just fake out into the Overquill. And I think a Breaking Swipe, honestly. That one's safer. Do I burn my Terra immediately? I don't think I want to. This is an Icy Wind from Politoed that's a little awkward, but it's manageable. Since Roaring Moon won't get the speed drop. Ice Beam would be worst case. Yep. I am A-okay with that. Our coachings are now slower than Roaring Moon, which is not the end of the world. I'm going to pivot out with Mienshao to reset our speed, and I'm going to click Breaking Swipe. Icy Wind did very little, so I'm okay with that. We could have been attack booster on Roaring Moon. We really wanted to. We would have lost out on a chunk of bulk, though. So I don't think it was worth it. All right, it's a -2 Overquill. Not too worried about it. Also don't have to worry about the Muddy Water drops on Roaring Moon, which is nice. So this is just going to be a Wild Charge into the Politoed, I think. I want to knock off the Overquill. I want to scout items. Maybe it's better to double the Politoed. Overquill's not really threatening anything, so yeah. I'm going to double the Politoed. Is it better to be Raging Bull? It is rain boosted. Yeah. We're going to knock off and Raging Bullet. That should get the KO at that range, I believe. It's close. Damn proc, makes sense. Okay, got it. It's a little bit of an unfortunate defense drop, but I'm not too fussed with it. Floatzel comes out. I'm going to try to Wild Charge it. And it will Break Swipe. I don't think Tauros is in range of... That's the wrong Tauros. I don't think it's in range of a Wave Crash. Let's see, -1 defense. Yeah, we're out of range. Oh, wait, that's Intimidated. All right, well, they're -1 now, so we're definitely out of range. Cool. Beautiful. I would have preferred Tauros to faint there, actually, to get Mienshao in. I think I Aqua Jet for Chip, and I Tailwind. I could potentially get a double knockout here. Sandstorm Storm, yep. I'm A-okay with that. So this lets me bring in Mienshao and Toad. This is just a nice spinner. And a Giga Drain. Not a Giga Drain. Oh, there's Sand Force Landorus. They didn't change the Landorus' ability. It's a little funny. Is there a world where I can get put into a 1v1 with Toad and Lando. Is it better to just double the overquill? I don't think so. I think it's just Ice Spinner and Earth Power. Yeah, since we're faster, we're good. We are chilling. This is just an Ice Spinner. And we don't even have to reveal that we're coaching. Or specs. Although they could go for a double protect and find out that we're specs pretty easily. So. Ooh, I wonder how much that did to Assault Vest Overquill. It probably to a KO'd. Oh yeah, even if we weren't. So yeah, we're chilling. There's no way for them to have known that we were specs. All right, on to game 2. I think it's the same lead. And Tauros was definitely the right bring. Tauros was super good there. No Gudra. Which means Sylveon's a little bit better. Still don't love it into the Overquill, potentially. We'll go with Toadscroll. I just want to get a coaching off. Coaching's fun tech. I love coaching. I wonder if Ogerpon will come this battle. Tauros kind of did a number on their team, so I would half expect Ogerpon to show up. I want to see something that's a little bit more passive than what they led. Like with Politoed in the back, we should be able to just spam coaching. Icy Wind is kind of what throws a wrench in that, right? We did reveal Ice Spinner, so they are aware that we have Ice Spinner and that we Oko Landorus. In fact, since they're Sand Force, we definitely put them in range of Life Orb, even if they're super, super bulky. I shouldn't say definitely. I bet Max probably lives. All right. What are they? Politoed, Ogerpon. I think I Breaking Swipe and I Coaching. I really want a Terra, but I don't think Terra's best. This will give us a defense boost and it'll put Ogerpon at -1. So I do think this is the right play. We'll take a play rough pretty well. Neither of these Pokemon have Wide Guard. Nothing on their team has Wide Guard, so I don't need to worry about a random Wide Guard shenanigan. Spiky Shield's a little annoying. It was supposed to be a Breaking Swipe, not a Tailwind. Whoops. But it's fine. We just Breaking Swipe and Coaching. This is better. It's better that I click Tailwind because I don't take the Spiky Shield chip, but that could have been a little bit of a blunder. Oh, give me this hit, please, 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 please. Beautiful damage on Floatzel. Goodbye, Mienshao. You have done your job. All right, I'm going to go Tauros, and we're going to cover for a switch. We're at +2 defense. I do think I want a Terra, though. I don't want to take an Ice Spinner. Yeah, I don't want to take an Ice Spinner. This makes us weak to Ogerpon Hornleech, but like we're at +2 defense, so I'm really not worried about Ogerpon at this point. Also, it's better to CC in case Ogerpon comes in. That's something I need to be better about, is being patient and playing out turns. Also, I forgot to click Terra when I went back, but it worked out. Because they were adamant instead of jolly. Which, you know, that's fair. If I chose to be max speed Roaring Moon, we would have been faster than them. So I think running adamant made sense in this matchup. Just gonna Breaking Swipe and Raging Bull. Terra Fight might save you, actually. I don't think that's Raging Bull range. It was. At this point, I don't think Ogerpon can break Roaring Moon. Bar play rough crit. That would be the way that it wins. Pulls it back. They burnt their Terra. Yeah. GG's. Sweet. The coaching tech worked. I'm really happy with that. I'm glad that I was able to bring that and have it put in work. It was kind of just a last minute, hey, you know what looks really good here? It's coaching. So we might have to bring that some more weeks. Toadscroll didn't get to do as much as I would have liked. It would have been cool to see Toadscroll pop off with some choice specs stuff, but yeah. It was a fun battle. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.